Hello, and welcome to WANA Pod by WANA Learning, the podcast where we explore innovative ways to learn, grow, and stay successful in our ever-evolving world. I'm your host, Nisa Burrell, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey. In today's episode, we're diving into a fascinating but often misunderstood industry with a remarkable woman who's been breaking barriers in the funeral services field. Our guest is a funeral director and was previously one of the youngest qualified. She is now a business owner who's carved out a space for herself in the traditionally male-dominated profession. She is here to shed light on the often overlooked aspects of the funeral industry. Join Philippa Howard-Smith, also known as Pip, as we explore her journey and what it's like to work in a field that truly touches the heart of life and death. So, Pip, what initially drew you to the funeral industry and what made you want to choose that as a career?
I started in 1987. My late mum asked me, what do I want to become when I left school? And I said, a funeral director. And the next thing I knew, I was booked in to visit our local funeral directors in Huddersfield, where I went round, had a visit, had a chat with the lady that worked there, visited the chapel of rest, and my mum said when we came out, is this still what you want to do? And I said, yes, mum, it is what I want to do. And that was 37 years ago.
It's amazing. So, as a female in the funeral industry, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced and how have you overcome them?
Well, luckily, I wasn't ever discriminated against. I was encouraged on my journey. On my YTS scheme in 1987, I started in the office. Then I was out arranging and conducting funerals at 17. I've had very supportive managers along the way who have encouraged me to grow and continue on my journey in our funeral profession.
If you cast your mind back to when you're 17, that's a big responsibility, a very adult step to not only be kind of working in a career like this, but also leading something that for so many people is quite a traumatic experience, really.
Yeah, they've some families have got no conception, but then again, they've just lost somebody.
Yeah.
So we don't expect them. We lead them by the hand. We look after everything for them, and that's what I love doing about my job. I think what people would be surprised is the amount of work and preparation uh, goes in behind the scenes in making funeral arrangements for their loved ones.
Yeah, as somebody that's been on the other side, I lost my father a couple of years ago, and even though you know it's coming and you have the chats, interestingly, our chats are more about music choice. People that would be attending, what would the experience be like for them? And my father was quite clear on what he didn't want. He didn't want it to be a sort of a dirge, as he called it. He wanted it to be something that was quite upbeat and almost celebratory. But then when we actually sat down with the funeral director, there were so many things and questions that they're asking. We're like, we never actually thought of that. Like we didn't consider that. So there's so many things that you do end up just not knowing. So having somebody like yourself to guide you through it, to kind of be the one that can sit there and hold your hand, is something that personally I
Yeah,
was very grateful for.
that's all right. Yeah, it's families coming to me and they just want guidance and help and support, and that's what I do, and that's how I'm promoting my business here as a business owner, funeral director. Yeah.
You work in an industry that you're dealing with grief daily, and that's going to have its own unique demands, including on yourself. So how do you balance that?
It's difficult sometimes because, as we mentioned, Nisha, the families I look after, it's not my bereavement.
Mm,
And you're slightly sort of, removed from that, keeping your professionalism. I mean, I'll use an example. I lost my dad. This is January, and I lost
mm,
my dad a year ago last week. On the 15th of January, he passed away. And it was my turn to ring a funeral directors, and it was dreadful.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely dreadful. we used a family firm in Sheffield, Eric Air, and my dad actually went to school with Eric. He went to the Scouts with him. They were in the church together, and it was Eric's privilege to look after my dad. I mean, my dad was 91 when he passed, and Eric's mid to late 90s now, and yeah, but I struggled. It was my turn, that bereavement had hit me, and we grieved just like yourselves, just like everybody else does when they lose somebody, you know.
Yeah.
Getting the balance is hard. As I say, it's not our bereavement, so you can actually sort of you never leave. You work behind me being a business owner. On call 24 hours a day, every day of the year. But yeah, you do. It is a calling, and you do quickly find out whether you can do the job and look after bereaved families. And I can, and I know that I do my job very well and professionally. And I have families returning to use myself and my care that I provide here.
One of the things listening to you speak about that, which our listeners won't see, they won't see you. You've got a big smile as you're talking about that, and I can just feel the empathy coming off you as you're kind of
Thank you.
discussing.
Thank you.
It's almost like it's a privilege that you're there to help
Yeah.
and support with people, and I love how that's coming across.
Thank you.
Do you think that being a female in a traditional male dominated space, even if the males are kind of, supporting you and have your back and encouraging you to do this and to achieve, do you think it gives you a different perspective or approach to the work? And if so, in what ways?
That's a hard one because the male funeral directors are extremely professional and extremely caring. I wouldn't go as far as to say ladies are better in the role because not necessarily we're not. We strike a chord, we strike a rapport with the families, and the chaps that look after families in the same way as me do exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's a privilege for them as well. I wouldn't say that the ladies are any better than the men because we're not. We're just here to look after everybody in their time of need.
Do you have any advice for anybody that would be interested in pursuing a career in funeral services?
Talk to your local funeral directors, like my mum did with me.
Mm.
Come and have a look. Most funeral directors are proud of their premises and funeral homes, and it's our pleasure to show people round and families round because there's no secrets here. I on my website. I've had a lovely lady and a lovely company and her family. They've done me a time lapse video of my refurbishment, and it's been received extremely well. We've got a Facebook group and a Facebook page and on LinkedIn, and yeah, it shows people how a funeral home is created and the end sort of result. And when you come into my funeral home here, it's just like coming into someone's home. You wouldn't know what it was at all.
So that's an amazing piece of advice to give to people that might be interested.
That's all right.
Flipping away slightly from the kind of the career aspect, and going more into managing a business. So not only are you a funeral director, you manage your own business, and that's a big thing all on its own. Is there anything you'd like to share about your experiences as a
Yeah.
business owner that's been particularly defining?
I made it my mission after 37 years in the funeral service, working for other funeral directors. Not this last Christmas, the Christmas before. I wanted to establish my own funeral directors, and I've done everything. I mean, I'm a serial networker. I am strong in the community here, and I'm present building my community profile here in Widmer End and surrounding areas. I found a lot of my contacts through the networking. Gentlemen designed all my website for me. Gentlemen provided all my phone systems, broadband telephones, and there's Take One Media provided all my time lapse videos, my professional photographs, and Karen's also done some videos question and answer videos, and these are continuing throughout 2025 as well. So, but yes, I have created my business from day one. The company Blue Pepper that look after all my service sheets where I used to work. Lorraine and Mark, they did all my stationery, all my terms and conditions, all my coffin brochures. Yeah, and they continue to support me on my price lists because I'm now approaching to join our National Association of Funeral Directors in the forthcoming sort of couple of months now. So I can be recognised here and be within their guidelines. They come and inspect the premises. Obviously, records are kept, legal records of deceased information. I have a secure database here and I pay a lot of money each year to keep my clients' privacy up to date. I've got a certificate here that proves that they are secure with me. Yeah, moving forward, yeah, I've done everything myself here, and I'm very, very proud of what I've done.
I asked you about defining moments that have made it for you, and you're proud of what you've created. You've created it from scratch.
Very
You clearly
proud.
had a vision and knew how you wanted to get there. But I also love the fact you've touched on your business and your knowledge is the funeral director part. And actually, when you've needed support, whether it be with marketing support, whether it's been with print support, or as you say, internet systems that are really tried and tested and secure. So you have got comfort as a business leader that your clients are secure and safe. You've known when to go out and actually seek that as well, and then you've been networking to help drive that. And I think for other business owners, that's a really key point of knowing when you need help, and that not necessarily to just do it all by yourself, because that's going to be difficult and that's going to be hard if you don't have the skill sets in those spaces. So where do you see the future of your business and actually maybe the industry as a whole?
My future in my business here in Widmer can only be more successful than it is. I've been accepted very graciously into our local community here. It was a little bit of a surprise when I first got here. But the minute I got my keys to my new funeral home, I put the signs up saying Widmer District Funeral Directors opening soon, and the people here, families are lovely, very supportive, very caring. I'm interacting really well. I'm attending the local residents meetings. I am on their calendar for the year. I'm in their local magazine that comes out quarterly. I'm sponsoring the cricket club, the scouts, and yeah, getting my name with Miranda District Funeral Directors sort of into the community. I found social media a little bit controversial at first, but I'm slipping easily into that role now, and we make a lot of posts on our Facebook group and Facebook page and on LinkedIn. And yeah, so the industry as a whole going further, there's been a lot of questions about the direct cremation services that the online companies provide. We as funeral directors also provide these services for families. And that's one thing I think that my fellow colleagues and business owners would like more spoken about in our industry, that families probably don't realise that they can come to us and we can look after their loved one in a direct cremation sort of situation. When I was at my previous role, I looked after a lot of families, and they came and said, oh, mum or dad wished for direct cremation, and they used to apologise. I said, don't apologise. Mum or dad will be looked after in exactly the same way as anybody else we look after here, only that you've chosen not to attend. That's all. Yeah. People have hearse and 10 limousines, horse-drawn caskets. They choose to meet at the crematorium and attend. limousine and hearse to meet from a private address. It's the fact that you've just chosen not to attend. Your deceased, your loved one will be looked after in exactly the same way as anybody else gets looked after here, with dignity, kindness and respect. And that's one thing I think that my as I said before, my fellow colleagues and their business owners want to actually get more into the community and sort of say, look, we do offer this service alongside the bigger online companies who you probably don't meet sometimes. Probably arrangements done on the telephone. We will come out and see you in exactly the same way. You just choose not to attend mum or dad's actual service. So that's where I see the industry going in the future. As I say, I've spoke to a lot of other funeral directors and they sort of say, well, we'd like to get our word out that we actually do provide this service as well as the bigger online companies. Yeah.
I can easily see you helping to kind of promote that and get their voices heard as well as your own. How has working in this industry shaped your outlook on death, but also life and relationships?
I think as a lot of funeral directors, you live for today because when death comes, it takes no prisoners, age, there's no rhyme or reason, and you do sort of you have a little bit of a different sort of focus on life. I think we've got sort of a little bit of a dry sense of humour. It comes across. People have always said, oh, if you go to an event, the event where the funeral directors are sat on the table is the most hilarious place to sit. But then, we're here to look after and provide a dignified, respectful service to everybody, all our families and clients that sort of wish to use our services.
And for me, it's one of those things where it's like the balance between just resilience and really enjoying life and the moments that you have. And as you say, if it comes through in the form of humour, if it comes through in the form of just, the first thing at the top of your mind is actually respect and caring. And I think that's come across quite strongly today. So anything else you'd like to share with our listeners, or anything you'd like to add?
If you decide to sort of establish your own business in any shape or form, whether it be a funeral directors or any other business, just keep on doing what you're doing. Just push forward. Listen, when I first decided to establish my own funeral directors, Steve Bartlett was one of my. I listened to a lot of his podcasts in the morning on my way to work and on my way home. Just keep pushing forward. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it'll come. Your success will come eventually. It's a hard road. It's like pushing water uphill, but it'll come.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights into both running a business and being a business owner, but also being a funeral director. I think a lot of people will be really grateful actually to hear your story. It's inspiring, from somebody to be so young and thinking, actually, this is the route I want to go down. This is a path that I think is right for me. And then really excelling, 37 years on, and here you are, director your own company, running your own services. And I think that's going to be something for other people to really take some lessons from, and to kind of resonate with you. If people do want to get in touch, you did mention social media. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
My company is Widmere End and District Funeral Directors Limited. We are to be found on, we've got a Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn. My full name is Philippa Howitt Smith, and I'm very active on LinkedIn. My website is widmereendfunerals.co.uk. And anybody's welcome to ring on 01494 307 111. I have my phones answered 24 hours a day. I am lucky enough to have established myself with a company that does specifically care for funeral directors outside the normal office hours. So your call will be answered by professionals 24 hours a day, and they escalate that to me then, and I phone the family straight back and make my contact and say hello and introduce myself. So you 100%, 24 hours a day, you will speak to a qualified caring member of staff. If not me, you'll speak to me the next call, don't worry.
Lovely. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
Not a problem, Lisa. It's my pleasure to come and chat about my passion, and it's my vocation. People quickly realise whether it's right for you when you come into the funerals and start your professional career. We do have a lot of colleagues and friends, and we do see throughout the 37 years they've come into the funeral profession and they're here to stay. You'll gain success eventually.
That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of WANAPod by WANA Learning. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review and share with your friends. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram or TikTok for more content. Until next time, keep learning, and remember, if you follow your passion, you'll be surprised where you can end up. I'm Lisa Burrell, and this is WANAPod by WANA Learning. See you next time.